Hey loves! Thank you for clicking on this video. It will be a part 2 to my story time. And if you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and click on the link. I just really wanted to thank you guys for all of the positive support and feedback that I received on the last video. I was really scared to film that video, and honestly hearing from you guys and seeing how many people are interested in my story is really pushing me to make this part 2. So I've put a lot of thought into this video, so hopefully you guys will like it. And if you do, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and maybe subscribe to my channel. So without further ado, then a miracle happened. That was how my last video ended. I just wanted to start this video taking off right from where it ended. My girlfriend and I were on our way to our house to drop her off, and we drove over gravel on the road and didn't think anything of it at first. While I was at her house, I was constantly wondering why there was gravel on the road, so I decided to leave and go check it out. On my way there, I saw the tree and realized something wasn't right. So I drove over to the side of the road and looked over the edge and saw your taillights. Instantly called my dad because he was an EMT and would be able to reach you faster than an ambulance could. Then I hung up and called 911 while checking to make sure you were breathing, checked your pulse, pried the door open, and waited for my dad and the police. I was so in the moment I didn't even recognize who you were. My dad got there and ran through all of the steps that I did to make sure you were alive. The ambulance arrived and took about 20 minutes trying to get you out. When they got you out, I had recognized the Newberg emblem and thought I'd probably know you. I walked up and got a closer look and realized it was Natalie. From there, I gave all of your information, and I didn't sleep for about 5 days. Isn't it so crazy? In middle school, I was best friends with this man. He didn't even recognize that it was me. He was just being a good person and was just focusing on saving that human's life. I would not be alive if he didn't find me. So shortly after Cameron and his dad were busy saving my life, the ambulance came and took me to a field where I could be life flighted to OHSU. When I got to the hospital, my mom said that she first barged in, running in, and she could see me down the hall getting carried into one of the rooms. She said that she saw me kicking and putting up a fight against the nurses. That honestly really surprises me because shortly after I had been on the bed, I fell into a coma. And not a medically induced coma. I had 5 separate brain bleeds. The doctors had told my mom that I wasn't gonna make it, that I wasn't gonna wake up from the coma, and that's the first news that they heard, was that their little daughter was gonna die in a coma. But then I started getting better. Close friends and family would come and visit me while I was in this coma and pray over me. And my youth group had put together a prayer circle, a large group of people, and they all prayed for me. Also on Twitter, a lot of people were tweeting tweets with the hashtag #PrayForNatalie. I just kept getting better day by day. The doctors went from telling my parents that I was never going to wake up to the next day saying I would wake up in 3 months. And then after the next couple days, it was 3 weeks. And on the 6th day, I had woken up. The doctors were all truly surprised at my recovery and were surprised by my miraculous progress. They had told my parents that I was the poster child. And a part of me is like, put me on a poster then. No. But my whole reason that I'm alive is, I'm not sure, but I'll dig a little more into that later on. After I had woken up from the coma, I was transferred to Randall's hospital where I would do my therapy. After I had woken up, I was the worst person ever because I didn't have my phone.
Hello, so I just wanted to add in a quick little insert. Earlier today, I went on a walk and I didn't bring my phone because I just wanted some time to myself to think about this specific part of my video where I was so mad that I didn't have my phone. And I was really thinking about it because I'm not really the type of person that's obsessed with my phone or anything. But then it came to me, like a memory of that time came back to me, which is so rare. Like, it doesn't really happen often that I get vivid flashbacks of me during this time. And what the memory was me wanting my phone so bad so that I could tell everyone that I'm alive. Yes, my sister and my parents and my friends were telling people like, yeah, she's alive, but like I wanted to tell them. Like, I feel like I'd have such a bigger impact. I don't know. Basically, I was just like, it's gotta be me, bitch. Okay, sorry, just wanted to add that in. Now back to the video.
Or because I wasn't liking the hospital food. I was just pissed that I was in the hospital and that I wasn't able to go hang out with my friends. It's like summertime now and I was stuck in the hospital. The doctors had told my family that I was gonna be doing therapy for 3 months, which was like all of summer, and that made me so mad. A part of the therapy I did enjoy. I did like doing physical therapy because I got to play a little basketball and throw a football sometimes.
You let me know anytime. My parents would goof on me.
But that was about it. I hated speech therapy and I hated occupational therapy, like a lot. But I think it was that drive to get out of the hospital as soon as possible that made me get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Instead of being in therapy for 3 months, I was doing it for 3 weeks. After I had gotten out, I kept doing therapy. I kept going to occupational therapy and speech therapy and physical therapy for like the whole summer basically. I would go like once a week and do therapy, but I didn't mind that as long as I could just still be out under the sun with my friends. I got my license suspended for 6 months after the accident, and all of my amazing friends would just constantly offer to drive me, so very thankful for them. Fast forward to senior year. School was not easy. I also really wasn't trying very hard, but also like it was hard. But I was given a little bit of leeway because of the accident, and I had gotten some academic accommodations, and I had some amazing teachers that fully supported me and really wanted me to succeed and graduate high school and maintain a good enough GPA to compete in sports. I was able to compete in basketball, which honestly made me so happy. It wasn't always the easiest. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to just go back and play basketball like I normally would have beforehand, before the ACL surgery, before any of that. I could play basketball as long as I wore this T90 helmet. But honestly, I didn't even care. Like, I was playing a sport which I loved so much, and honestly, I thought that I was kind of swaggy in it. I'm not even kidding. And I had like a knee brace on from my ACL surgery. Had like all the braces. And this season went by pretty well until the playoff game, or the play-in game. It was the very end of the game pretty much, and I was taking a charge, but my feet were not set at all, so it was actually a foul. She had knocked me over, and I fell back and smacked my head against the ground. I got a concussion from that. I wasn't able to play in my playoff game. The very last game of my senior year, the very last game of my basketball career, I wasn't able to play in. It's fine. I remember talking about how javelin was the sport that I had the most potential to compete in collegiately, and I was right. I ended up signing to University of Montana, where I had been on the track team, and I was there on scholarship. Go Grizz! I achieved that dream, and I think that achieving that dream really woke me up to that I really can achieve dreams, that all of my hard work really does pay off. For my senior project, my friend Megan reached out to me to be a guest speaker at her high school, Gladstone High School, to speak about my accident and what I went through. And honestly, I was really hesitant at first, standing in front of an entire high school talking about how I fucked up, but I still did it because I also did it as my senior project. It was great. I remember being at this assembly, essentially, with a couple other people who were affected by distracted driving in their lives, but it was always their sibling or their parent. It wasn't ever them. So I think that's where I came in with a different perspective as someone that's been through it. And what honestly really sucks the most is that I don't remember it at all. I don't remember the whole day beforehand the accident, and I don't really remember being at OHSU, and I barely remember being at Emmanuel. I feel like I'm telling the story of another person, but this is me. This happened to me. I also came out of the accident completely scratchless. This is all that I got from the accident was these scars. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I probably will for the rest of my life. I'm still trying to truly realize that I went through this. And people would look at me with this certain way, that this look of pity, they felt bad for me. I was always very ashamed of what I went through, and I was always kind of scared to speak up about it, or even just talk about it. Part of the reason why I felt that way was because there was this guy that went to my high school that would very openly talk to people that I was just asking for attention, and that I was just trying to make people feel bad for me, and that I deserved what had happened because I did it to myself. And that was hard to hear. Because I'm like, yeah, no shit. How do you... I get that I did that to myself, and honestly, everybody's a critic. I'm sharing my story and putting my story out there, out for judgment, out for people to say terrible things just because they can. But that's not for me to like banter on. Like, that's for me to let karma take care of their ass. Also, something else, I didn't cry until I found out that my cousin had passed away. I mean, don't get me wrong, some bad stuff happened, but I didn't cry. For some reason, I had thought that crying was a sign of weakness, and crying was just a way to make people feel even more bad for me, which I was so over that. I graduated high school, and barely, but I did, and I went to college, and I pursued my dream of being a collegiate athlete, and it was everything that I ever wished it would be. But that's my story. I think the hardest part, or the biggest thing that I was struggling with for years, was constantly asking, why me? Why did I survive? Like, I don't think I was supposed to survive. Like, I don't get why I'm alive. There's a lot of people that go through car accidents like mine, and they don't make it out. There's people that go and get in car accidents that maybe aren't as bad as mine, and they don't make it out. Like, that is something that I still struggle with, but I'm kind of been learning to just live life, show gratitude, and realize that not everything can be explained. Not everything has a reason. I think that if you were to tell me that summer after my accident all of the accomplishments that I have done, I would look at you like you're crazy. Like, absolutely bonkers. First, I would gasp that you mentioned I would drop out of college. And I would also gasp that I had gone to Miami, and maybe slap you in the face if I told myself that I would be a model. I hope that this video shows you how fragile life is, and you should always be thankful and grateful. After the accident, I definitely struggled with depression, but it was so easy for me to brush off because I would just smoke weed all the time with my friends and not really pay attention to it. But once I got to college, I really got to think about it. The more I was by myself, realized the real trauma that I had gotten from that accident. Today, I'm very, very proud of all that I have done and who I've become, and I'm very happy with who I am. My relentless strive to be a better person will never cease. I mean, you guys got a little glimpse of it from miraculously recovering so quickly from a fatal car accident, and it's not gonna stop now. I have always been a big dreamer, but I also think that my dreams are my reality, and I think that my thoughts are my reality. Another big takeaway was realizing how much I mean to my community and those that are in my life. When I saw the picture of the prayer circle, I had no idea that many people cared about me. Like, absolutely no idea. And hearing stories of how it was different in school the Monday after my accident. I had no idea how much of an impact my life had on others. And you should realize the impact that you have on others too. You might feel like you're alone, but you're never alone. We are all doing this. We are all in this thing together, regardless of religion, regardless of political views, regardless of how you look. We're all going through this life thing together. And that support from others literally can make miracles happen. It was after, I think, seeing what people can do is what really restores my faith in humanity. I mean, honestly, I know that there's bad people, and I know that there's bad people that do bad things, but there's also good people that do good things. And trust me, there are so many more good people than bad people in this world. I honestly think that it all relies on communities and how we lift each other up. So that is all I have for the part 2 of my story time. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it to the end. Seriously, thank you so much. This means a lot to me that you want to hear my words that come out of my mouth. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them down below or send me an Instagram DM. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I could even make a Q&A for my next video. I know that maybe there are a lot of things that I missed out on, and that's fine. I mean, I can always make another video. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos by me. I post a new video every Friday, and today, the day that I am posting this video, is a very special day because today marks exactly 4 years since my car accident. 4 years. I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Party it up, but make sure you're still social distancing. Be safe and be kind to others. Peace out, everyone.
You know, I begin to